Hello everybody and welcome to today's live Facebook session. You will see that I'm doing things slightly differently today, but I'm still behind the screen. Let's turn it around and you can see me. Hello! I'm actually in my office today, so if you have a look around, you will see this beautiful, beautiful space that I'm absolutely honored and privileged to use as my office space. So if you're wanting to connect with me face-to-face, one-to-one, I'd like you to send me a personal message in Messenger and we can talk about that. But anyway, what are we talking about today? Let's go back. All right, today what I'd like to talk to you lovelies about is I'd like to talk to you about this idea of what's the difference between being a spiritual being, having a human experience, or a human being having a spiritual experience. So let's turn the sheet of paper over. Let's start at the very beginning. If you remember, a lot of what I've been talking to you about is I've been talking to you about this idea that when we're born, what happens is that we are a true, amazing, beautiful spark of light that's unaffected by anything. It is pure love. It is the highest form of vibration. Now, if you remember my other videos, I've been talking about vibration. So when you are born, you are this spark of pure love. And what happens in our life, as you know, is we develop boxes and expectations of who we should be, how we should act, and these boxes are usually developed when, as this beautiful spark of pure love, we do something or we act in a certain way, and we are told by our parents or by society that it's not good enough. We develop a defense mechanism as a belief system. Oh dear. Belief system, right? Now this belief system is a defense mechanism. And what is it a defense mechanism of? Let's go back now to the spiritual part of us. So we are at the core, this is the core of who we are. The core of who we are is this vibration of love. Now, what happens is that we feel that we have done something that's not good enough. And what happens to us in our consciousness, in our spiritual being, is that that belief system forms a memory, forms almost like a spiritual vibration around the core of who we are. And all of these mental belief systems that we develop impact our spiritual consciousness, okay? Now, sometimes when we are born into a certain life, we might be born with certain consciousness lessons or consciousness memories from many different past lifetimes, but they are also developed in the lifetime that we live in. Okay, so you just imagine that the more experiences you have as a human, the more of these conscious rings around us start to develop. Now, the spiritual being within us, basically, if you look at the middle of who we are is a magnet, right? Imagine this as a magnet. Okay? Hi, thanks for joining me. If you've just joined, welcome. Today we are talking about the idea of being a spiritual being, having a human experience rather than a human being having a spiritual experience. So the core of who we are is almost like this magnet, and that is who we are. And this magnet is this vibration of love. Now what happens is that this magnet is obviously drawing us in, all right? Now who we are on a mental level is we're living either here, or maybe we're living kind of in this consciousness, or maybe we're over here in our human experience, in our everyday life. But there is this pull. Now here are the magnetic waves of the magnet, and this magnet draws us in. Now this is the flow. When we are in flow of who we are moving inwards towards the core vibration of who we are. When we are moving outwards, we are going against the flow. Now, when we're going against the flow, we feel that vibration. Sorry about that. I am back. Part 2. So, when you are in flow, your body feels light. You feel like you're moving in alignment. Everything is easy. And the reason why everything is easy and you feel light within your body is because this magnet, which is the core vibration of who you are, is drawing you inwards. Now, I want to explain a little bit more about this magnet. This magnet is also, yes, it's the core of who you are. It is the vibration of who you are. It is a vibration, but it is also your core conscious belief. Hi, thanks for joining again. So it's the core conscious belief of who you are. Now, if you imagine that all these conscious beliefs that happen to us over the course of our life are also what we call soul lessons. Now, each lifetime as a spiritual being, you are born into a lifetime with a certain spiritual journey, with a spiritual sort of a spiritual lesson that you want to uncover and learn about yourself. Now, my spiritual journey this lifetime has been about uncovering what does it mean to live in freedom. Now, why do I say that? Because my entire world changed when I realized that all I wanted on a soul level, the core vibration of who I am, is a being that wants to live in freedom. And when I am not living in freedom, what's happening is if I'm, acting out or if a belief system that I have is anything that is the opposite of freedom, then I feel like I am going against the flow because I'm not in alignment with my core magnet, which is freedom. Okay, so what's very important is, as a spiritual being, is to uncover this. What's very important as a spiritual being is to uncover. Hi. Thanks so much for watching, Shelby. Good to see you. So it's very important that what we do is we uncover our why. So what is your why? If you know what your why is, I'd like you to type it in the comment section below now. Type in, what is your why? My why is freedom. So if you're living in the vibration of freedom, then you will be going with the flow of who you are. If you are, so for me, if I am vibrating anything outside of freedom, then I am going against the flow of who I am. So what is it to be a spiritual being having a human experience? Let me tie it all together. Remember that your spirit is a soul. The soul has a certain vibrational frequency that is the core vibration of who it is. Oh, love, that is beautiful, Shelby. Really, really beautiful. So let's say, for example, we've got love over here. That's really amazing. So every other conscious vibration that you experience from these belief systems is going to become like a memory in your spiritual body rather than your physical body. So yes, of course, everything outside of this circle here is my human experience. Okay, this is my human, and this over here, this tree, kind of like a tree trunk. If you imagine that you, as a spiritual being, is almost like this. Let's imagine today I'm drawing the analogy of a tree. Okay, so you're this tree trunk as a spiritual being, and your spiritual experiences are the rings, and it is as a spiritual being to try and move more and more into the core of who you are by going through all these spiritual, by What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that as a spiritual being, yes, what happens through these belief systems in the human world, they form memories on our soul consciousness. And when we are in awareness, when we are in spiritual awakening, when we're in that space, it is for us to start to begin to remove these layers of consciousness that are against the highest vibration of who we are, which is freedom and which is love. So our spiritual journey, one of our spiritual journeys, is to move in the flow, to follow the magnet of your core why, your core vibration. So do we have any questions? If you have a question for me, can you type it in the comment section below? Hi, if you've just joined us, sorry you're joining us at the end, and I was explaining that who we are as a spiritual being is somebody that vibrates on a frequency that is very different for different people. For me, it's freedom. For Shelby, it is love. For you, it could be joy, it could be passion, it could be inspiration. You know, these words are all just words that are also belief systems, aren't they? But what we are all doing is we're all vibrating on the very same frequency, which is that of source, which is that of spirit. I've had an absolutely wonderful session today. Give me a thumbs up if you have enjoyed today's session. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the way that I did today's live, drawing on this piece of paper. Give me a yes, I like the drawing on the paper, or I prefer having you speak with the board behind you. Give me some feedback, but give me some love if you liked today's session, and I will see you tomorrow. If you'd like to learn how to live in freedom, I would like to invite you to click on the link in the description above. Without further ado, have a wonderful day. Live in freedom, my beautiful souls. Bye.